and welcome! Today we are taking a full look at the very exciting Adventure Force or Dart Zone Aeon Pro X. Now in the box, of course, we get the Aeon Pro X itself with a 12-round magazine inside. We get some pretty nice safety glasses with adjustability. We get 12 of the Dart Zone Ember type Pro Darts, we get a sight, an extra O-ring that looks pretty weird, and we get a scar barrel. Of course, we also do get the instructions. Now let's go over the blaster. Starting off, we do have 4 Picatinny style rails on the Aeon Pro X. We have one on the bottom, one on the top, and we have them on the right and left. We have an included little sight piece up here, which corresponds pretty well with what we have going on in the back. Up on the priming handle, we do have a reprime switch, but this one is pretty recessed, so you're going to need a pen to activate it. Now right here we do have the safety. When you push from the left-hand side, you are safe, and when you push from the right, you are ready to go. Now right down here we have 2 magazine releases. One of them works just like this, very smoothly, and the other works a little bit differently than you might expect. My muscle memory wants me to push forward to release it, but this one actually requires you to put your finger on the other side and pull. I think once you get used to it, it actually works really well. And as you just saw, I took out the magazine without priming the blaster back, and it's super smooth. It accomplishes this with essentially a skinny style pusher. This is very similar to what we saw on the Pyroraptor, but the Pyroraptor is of course Jam City. That thing is not very good, but it seems like whatever issues that blaster had have been fully refined in the Aeon Pro X. And this is not like the Mark IV where they just made the magazine lips expandable, but it didn't really have the capability to take other magazines without being primed back. This one should take any magazines you have just like this. Really awesome design. Well done, Dart Zone. Now right up front, we have a scar barrel. This is the same scar barrel that you can buy on their website along with the bearing scar. This is also the same one that will be included with the Nexus Pro X along with the bearing scar also. And while I'm a bit more excited to try out the bearing scar, this is definitely a pretty cool design. Of course, this will fit in pretty much all of your Dart Zone Pro blasters, but simply by flipping it around, you can put it on blasters with an exposed metal barrel. That is an incredibly simple but brilliant design. Really awesome. We also have an N-Strike styled stock attachment point. This is super cool. One of the most common upgrades for the original Aeon Pro was to put one of these on the back. But now it's built in right out of the box, and I'm sure it's a lot more secure than it would have been otherwise. So you can put many Nerf and Dart Zone stocks onto this blaster with no problem. Of course, the 1.2 stock has its issues, but it does look really good with this blaster and gives you the ability to shoulder the Aeon Pro X. Also, it is not included in the box, but they will be releasing an upgrade spring kit for this blaster and the Nexus Pro X, and you are going to get a higher powered and lower powered spring. Apparently the lower powered one will take you down to 135 FPS. Currently it is supposed to hit somewhere around 150. We'll test that though. And with the stronger spring, supposedly you're going to be able to hit 200 FPS. That's awesome. And the reason I mention that right now is that there are 4 screws on the back, 2 on the left and 2 on the right, and I think by unscrewing these you're going to have full access to the spring replacement area. Now ergonomically, this blaster is pretty good. We have a nice comfortable grip, it's well textured, and it feels really good to me. And we also have an incredibly smooth top prime. Unlike the original Aeon Pro, which definitely felt like a workout to use, this blaster feels a lot more manageable. Not only is the priming smoother, but we also have more backing for your hand. Unfortunately, because of the lowered barrel position, you are no longer able to load darts through the top like the original Aeon Pro. Also, of course, this is a half-dart exclusive blaster, so unlike the original Aeon Pro, we cannot use full-length darts, which I think is perfectly okay. Yes, if you want to use full-length darts, the original Aeon Pro is going to be better, but this blaster feels much more refined. It also doesn't have any kind of prime slop. Also, check this out. We have a practically perfect seal. In my experience, the original Aeon Pro definitely had a pretty meh kind of seal, so this is awesome. So far, I am super happy with this thing. It seems like a huge improvement over the original Aeon Pro. Also, I do want to say these new Dart Zone magazines are phenomenal. This thing is clearly very Talon inspired, but it's super durable. I love the way it looks, and it might be my new favorite magazine. Let me fire a couple shots to demonstrate what this thing is all about. It does also have slam fire, which the original Aeon Pro did not. Yeah, the Prime is still a little bit heavy, but like I said, much more manageable than the original Aeon Pro. Now let's take the Aeon Pro X outside and put it over the chronograph. All right, here we are outside with the Aeon Pro X. Now I hoped it would be a little bit sunnier, but we're gonna work with what we have. We're gonna take a few shots with the included scar barrel and a few shots without, so we can see if there's any kind of change in the performance. And of course, we're gonna be using the included Ember darts. We're claiming 150 FPS. 150, 155, and 149. So that is a pretty solid average, but now let's take off the scar barrel to see if we get any change in performance. 161, 163, and duplicate 163. So we're seeing about a 10 FPS increase when we remove the scar barrel. But keep in mind, the scar barrel is going to make this blaster more accurate because it's going to spin the dart as it flies. Now let's fire some shots downrange. I will be using the scar barrel. Very straight. Let's do a few in slam fire. Solid performance. So what are my final thoughts on the Dart Zone Aeon Pro X? This blaster is incredible. It really has blown me away. Keep in mind, this thing retails for $25. That's also what the original Aeon Pro went for. This blaster is giving you so much more than you got with the original Aeon Pro. And I have always liked the Aeon Pro, but clearly it was a flawed blaster. We had the prime slop. It was not the most comfortable top slide. It did not have a very good seal out of the box, that is. We didn't have a stock attachment point. We didn't have an included scar barrel, and we didn't have slam fire. So besides the fact that this blaster cannot take full-length darts, it's practically better in every way. And as far as budget pro blasters go, I think this one blows away the competition. This makes me very excited to get my hands on the Nexus Pro X, because if it's anything like this blaster, it's going to be incredible. So even if you're a seasoned foam flinger who already has an Aeon Pro and a bunch of other pro style blasters, I still recommend you give this thing a try. It's a great experience. And for those of you who are just getting into high-powered blasters, nothing beats this blaster in my eyes at this price range. At $25, the Aeon Pro X is an incredible buy. It gets a full Foam Quest approval. This blaster has been in and out of stock like crazy, but I will have the link in my description. Well done, Dart Zone, you've made another great blaster. And for everyone else, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Aeon Pro X, and happy blasting.